I know how to style stuff out to make the clothes look good.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge differentiation. I will never wear this again. Now I'm a mom. I don't want to only be paid for everything I do. I was in that horrible postpartum stage.
Well, here you are. Here is your success. I wish I could marry you. Seriously. Hello, everybody. Today on the extra stage, we have Rocky Barnes,
Hello.
fashion influencer, a model, and a mom to two beautiful boys. I said girls.
You have two girls, two boys.
I have two girls. No, she has two boys.
Yes.
They're so cute. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you.
The little one, I can't.
Charlie. Oh my gosh.
I really can't.
My meatball.
He looks just like you.
Don't tell him that. Everyone says Jones, my oldest, looks just like me. So I try and give Matt Charlie, and everyone keeps saying they both look like me. So
they do both look like you because you have a very strong features.
Yeah.
Like, very specific one because you're part of Filipino, right?
I think Charlie's going to be more like Matt though when he gets older. Hopefully. Hopefully
they'll change.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I think he has his coloring at least. He has like dark hair with like lighter eyes.
He does have lighter skin too,
and lighter
right?
skin, yeah.
Because you have really dark skin. But the first one has lighter skin too.
Jones has blonde hair, but he's definitely like more golden undertones.
Yeah.
Like definitely has when he tans very nicely.
Well, they're going to be such heartbreakers, both of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're really
They're going to be trouble. They're already trouble.
Yeah.
How is it transition from 1 to 2?
I think, well, you'll find out.
I'm so scared of that day. I'm excited but scared.
0 to 1 is hard in the moment, but once you go from 1 to 2, I think you realize how easy 1 is.
I was telling her this morning because she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so tired." I'm like, "Babe, you think you're tired now, and once you have second one, you understand how not tired you are."
It's like once you have 2, like 1 is a walk in the park. I think the biggest difference between the 2 is that with 1 you can tap in and tap out with your partner or anyone essentially. Like if you have a nanny or your husband, you can essentially be like, okay, take the baby, I need a breather. But with 2, especially when they're really young, it's like all hands on deck. You really need all the help all the time, so like no one ever gets a break.
No.
That's the hardest part.
And also bedtime is like mom put in one and then dad put in another one in bed. I mean, I don't know how
and do you get that
bed,
extra help?
So my husband and I work together, and we work together from home. And so luckily we have a lot of flexibility when it comes to helping with the kids. And we're very much on a partnership with it, like very 50-50. So we kind of started this routine when Jones was born, is we switch off morning shifts. So like, let's say, for example, I put the kids down tonight, and then in the morning I get up with the kids and Matt can sleep in an extra hour. And then the next day, Matt will put the kids down for bed. And then in the morning, he'll wake up and I get to sleep in an extra hour. So it kind of gives each parent a little bit of a break each day, which is really nice. Or if I want to go out to dinner with my girlfriends and stay out a little bit later, I get an extra hour in the morning. And so that's kind of been our routine. And I feel like it really holds each of us accountable and really gives us that like partnership and holds each one accountable for being there and knowing what they're going to be responsible for. I think
that's the most amazing thing I ever heard.
That's really great.
But it's also very unique because we work
Yeah.
together and we have that ability to have shifts. I feel like in a traditional marriage where, let's say, a mom's staying home or and a husband's going to work, you don't get that extra help. Or and we also don't have a nanny that lives with us. So like maybe if you have a nanny, you can like kind of do that. But Matt and I have a very unique situation. I think it really holds us both accountable.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about how you met Matt? Because that's what kind of you're talking about.
Yeah. So Matt and I met in 2015. I was in New York for a modeling job and like stayed the weekend and ended up meeting him at a concert in Brooklyn, like completely random, no mutual friends. I had just gotten divorced like a week before.
Oh, wow.
So we met and we dated. When I first met him, I was like, I'm never going to date you. You live in New York. I live in LA. This isn't going to work. And a week before I met him, he had signed a lease on an apartment in West Hollywood and was moving out 3 months later.
Oh, wow.
So it was very serendipitous.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, I guess I can date you long distance. We dated long distance for like 3 months, saw each other every like few weeks. And then when he moved to LA, it was just like, that's it, we're together.
So you knew that was it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I feel like I had already been through the ringer and I knew what I wanted, and he's just a great guy. And
so how long you guys are together now?
we just had our 5-year wedding anniversary. So almost
2 years
8
together
years.
before that.
Yeah.
3 years
yeah.
together. And
like 2 or 3 years.
I was always wondering, like, did you, so you met and you started working together a while out, or like, how did that, like?
Okay, so this is actually really funny too.
Yeah.
So I was obviously doing all the modeling and influencer stuff. He was actually working at Ernst & Young doing finance.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, so different from what he's doing now, right?
But when he moved to LA, he had set up with EY to go and do all of this solar securitization in LA. And then when he moved out, we took a trip to Tulum for a job. And I had a client that was like, we'll pay for you to go anywhere in the world. This was like back in the day.
What client was that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, they don't do that anymore. Back in the day, they're like, we'll fly you anywhere in the world if you shoot these 9 bikinis.
What?
Literally. I was like, okay. What? So I wanted to go somewhere we can maximize our time. So I was like, let's just do Tulum, right? So we did Tulum, and I flew a photographer in for one day to just like knock everything out. And then we were just going to relax and enjoy the rest of our paid vacation. And the only day the photographer could come was on Valentine's Day. And Matt was by himself on the beach, drinking pina coladas or whatever it was, like so hard. But he was so upset that he couldn't help me. And he was just like kind of helpless there waiting for me. And so he was like, that when we got back from that trip, he went and signed up for a photography class to like try and help me.
Stop it.
Because he's like, I never want to be in that position again. You shouldn't have to fly someone in. I was there. I could have helped you. And he's a total Renaissance man. Like, he cooks, he does photography. And so slowly after that, he started helping me out a little bit here and there. And then he wanted to open a restaurant. So he quit because he's just a Renaissance man. So he quit his finance job, and during R&D of his restaurant, it was like a year and a half where they were like scouting locations, building the menu, like doing the whole build out and everything. He essentially was helping me out in the interim. So that was really great. And he kind of got a taste of working for me, and we got to travel together. And it was just this really amazing time where we got to do all these amazing trips together, kind of at the beginning of the influencer.
I really remember that time because I started following you around that time. And
like the Revolve trips.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. And you guys was always together, like in this amazing places. I'm like, fuck, that's like a great gig.
It was a dream. It was like this ultimate like fairy tale situation. And then when he started the restaurant, he was kind of still helping me and doing the restaurant. And then the restaurant was just like overwhelming. They ended up shutting it down like months before COVID, which was like a blessing in disguise.
It's a hard business.
And I had just gotten pregnant. So like it was not a good situation. So we ended up shutting the restaurant down, and has been working with me full time since then. So it's been like 4 years, I want to say.
How's it going?
Well, I think anyone who works with their husband will tell you it's not easy. Yeah. Like at the very beginning, we used to like want to kill each other all the time. And when you first started doing photography, I'd be like, I remember this one time we were at Gurney's in the Hamptons.
Gurney's.
But yeah, and he was taking photos for me at sunset, and I'm looking at the photos and I'm like, these are purple. Why are these photos purple? He's like, they're not purple. Like, that's just what it looks like. They're not purple. And I'm like, these photos are purple. Like, what is going on? And like, I had one of our girlfriends who was good with cameras look at it. She goes, oh, your white balance is set on purple. Like, it was just, you know.
So he was learning as he goes, like through the process.
Did he get so much better?
Oh my God.
Photography?
And we've all worked, you guys all come from modeling as well.
Yeah.
You've worked with a million photographers. I think he's better at shooting me than any photographer I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
He like, I'm a tough critic, and he like knows my angles, what looks good. He'll even tell me like, don't like lean so much. You're like, he is so good at shooting women, I think, which is really special.
Does he shoots anything else or just you?
He'll like shoot random jobs every once in a while, and he'll like shoot stuff for my girlfriends and stuff, but I keep him pretty busy.
I mean, the amount of work you put out of there, like, I really don't understand how you have energy for the kids, for like, you know, your husband, for like all your, how do you balance all of this?
Well, I think, like I was saying at the beginning, it was a huge learning curve with us working together.
Yeah.
Like it used to take like an hour to shoot a look. We'd like drive around LA and like find a spot and then take photos, and I would hate them and we have to try again. And now we can shoot a look in 5 minutes. It's
Seriously?
like so easy. We have it down. But there was, and I think before also we would get in fights like every couple does.
Yeah.
And we would completely be, if we got in a fight, our whole day was shot.
Mhm.
Like we couldn't do anything. We couldn't shoot together. We wouldn't be able to have any like professional like progress during the day. It would just be shut down because we do have that personal relationship and a work relationship. So those kind of days were hard. They would totally just like knock us on our feet if we got in a fight.
Mhm.
And now I feel like we're better at kind of creating that balance
Communicating too, probably, right?
and also having boundaries and respect for each other. I think creating boundaries and having respect for your partner when you work together is the hardest part, because you kind of take them for granted because they're your partner, as we all do in relationships, but you have to almost be more respectful of them when you work together in those kind of professional relationships.
So you guys,
So now we can balance the kids and work much easier.
yeah,
I feel like we're just so efficient with everything now, and we really are good about scheduling. Like, oh, Matt has a call, we're gonna shoot then, and we know like, oh, well, in the afternoon it's better to shoot, so we'll like save that till the afternoon and,
for like
you
the
know,
sunset or something.
and we have a shared calendar with everything. We put every single thing that we do in there.
Mhm.
See,
like-
I told you she's the most structured person like I ever probably known.
Well, you have to, because otherwise, if Matt was like, "Oh, I'm golfing this afternoon," I'm like, "Okay, well, there goes 6 hours of the day,
Yeah.
and you have no idea."
Yeah.
And so I put everything, like my nail appointments, like every single thing goes in our calendar, so we know what is expected and what we can do, and yeah,
We all can learn from you.
Like, oh my
it's
god,
not easy. It's taken a long time. It's taken a
So
long
tell
time.
us like your regular day, because you know you do so much content. Like you wake up with your kids, you make them breakfast. Like we just want to know, how do you fit everything?
Yeah, no, we wake up, we do breakfast. Jones goes to school. I come back. I usually take the first couple of hours in the morning to style out looks and get ready myself, do my hair and makeup, style out looks, figure out what I need to shoot for the day, kind of just like organize. And I'm also constantly like refreshing my closet and clearing things out, and also taking time to just be inspired, which is really hard. I kind of have to lock myself in my closet and just play dress up, which is hard to do with kids. I get little baby toddler hands under the door, like, mama.
So
you know how
cute.
it is.
Yeah.
So I try and take that time for myself. And then depending on what the rest of the day looks like, well, Matt and I will shoot in the afternoon. We'll take phone calls. I do baby classes with Charlie once a week, and you pick up Jones sometimes, depending on like what the schedule looks like. So usually the morning is for myself, and then Matt and I tend to work together in the afternoon.
Honestly, you're an inspiration to all of us.
We only have our nanny till 5, so we have our nanny from 9 to 5.
9 to 5 for the little one.
Yeah, for our little one, and she picks up Jones from school and takes him to like taekwondo, or he's in speech therapy. Takes him to speech therapy. Everyone's home by 5, and then we start dinner, bath, and kids are always in bed by 7.
Does Matt always cooks dinner?
Pretty much. He doesn't trust me to cook.
That's amazing.
That's like such
You're
a
lucky.
dream scenario. Yeah.
But I do all the laundry, I do all the cooking, I do all the nanny management.
Yeah.
So like we have I feel like especially once you start having kids, you really have to pick your roles early on and hold them to it.
Yeah.
Like I will never take the trash out.
No, that's not something
I will take it out of the bin and set it next to the door.
I do the
but
same.
I will never take that to the trash.
Yeah.
That is always my husband's job.
Yeah, you kind of like learn each other, and you kind of have your roles in family, right? So it's.
But he cooks and I clean.
Mm-hmm.
You clean.
Like I'll do all the
Interesting.
dishes and wipe, clean everything up. He cooks, I clean. So we kind of have our.
So who's more structured though? I feel like it's you. Or you guys both kind of structured?
I think we're both kind of structured because he comes from finance, but I think that I have a more realistic time management. I feel like he thinks that we can do 20 things in a day. And I'm like, we can do about 5 of those things realistically. I think I have a really good idea of what's reasonable and I try and set realistic expectations for us every day, so we're not getting overwhelmed. I think he thinks we can do this and this and this, and I'm like, well, it takes 30 minutes to drive there and 30 minutes to come home. And you might be ready after a workout to go shoot, but then I have to do my hair and makeup in between. So I think he forgets about all those in between moments, and I try and keep a realistic time frame.
So you guys kind of balance each other so well together,
We're
right?
pretty good at it. Yeah.
So I have a question going back to the looks and like where do you find inspiration for your looks?
She's really concerned about it because she's like, she has 1,000 looks a day. Like, how does she finds her inspiration?
Well, I think it's easy for me. Like, I have a very unique situation too, where I'm getting sent stuff from brands all the time, and I'm seeing lookbooks and seeing what's new. But I think I get a lot of my inspiration, like everyone else, just on Instagram or street style, and Fashion Week is always super inspiring. But I think for me, I always try and take whatever trends are happening and see what works for me.
And do you feel personally for you, does it change over time? Like how you saw clothes, let's say 5 years ago, and now you're like, Mom, and does anything change for you?
You know, what's so funny is when I first got pregnant with Jones, I think it was like after I was pregnant. And I was in that horrible postpartum stage where you're just like jello-y and puffy.
You were never jello-y, ever.
First of all, I was. It was COVID, and I was living in sweatpants, and everyone's like, you bounce back so quick. I'm like, no one saw me for 8 months, and I was in sweatpants. So, of course, it looks like I bounced back.
Yeah.
But I think in that stage, I had this like feng shui attack and went through my closet and got rid of every sexy outfit I had. I'm like, I am never going to wear this again. Anything slightly sexy. I just had these like giant boobs breastfeeding, and it was jiggly. And I'm like, I will never wear this again. Now I'm a mom and like throwing shit out. And now that like after 2 kids, I finally got my body back, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I could get rid of all that sexy shit. Like, mommy's ready to wear it again.
Yeah, after second kid, something happens, you're like ready to go. You're like a MILF, right?
Yeah, you're like I did it. I'm back. Let's go. I'm like, why did I throw all that sexy shit out? I am pissed at myself. I have all these like matronly like moo-moos. I'm like, no. I think you just go through a phase, and you kind of think when you first and tell me if you guys feel like this. When you first had kids, you just feel so overwhelmed. You're like, this is my new life. And you don't remember what it was like. And then you kind of come out from the fog, and you're like, oh, I'm a person. I'm allowed to have fun still. I'm allowed to go out and see my girlfriends and dress up and feel sexy.
For sure. But I feel like second baby kind of fixed me. I don't know why it happens, but like after first one, you're like so serious, and I have a baby now.
Yeah.
I'm a mom. And then you have second one, and like I feel like, I don't know, life just kind of balances out. At least it was like that for me.
Well, Jones didn't watch TV till he was 18 months. And my oldest didn't watch, because they told you it's not good for children to have screen time before 18 months.
Yeah, whatever.
And so I was like vigilant about it. I would like put him in his bouncer away from the TV and like do all this stuff. And with Charlie, the second one, I'm just like, fuck it. What are you going to do? Like, obviously, my toddler's watching TV. Charlie's been watching TV since he was born. Like, well, that goes out the window. There's like so many things. You're just like, fuck it.
Yeah,
it's true, right? The second one, you just become like more loose, and you like want to have fun again. I don't know why, but I mean, maybe
I think you're just surviving. You're like, I can't. I don't have the capability to like shelter my kid the way I did with the first.
Was the second one planned?
Yeah, we were definitely trying with the second. Okay. I just wanted to like bang them out.
Yeah.
So first one wasn't planned, or?
Well, first one was planned. I went off birth control, but I got pregnant immediately, which I was not planning.
Everyone's saying the same story. I went birth control and I got pregnant immediately. You know?
But you know what? I think it's because I was like planning on it taking a year, so I just wasn't thinking about it, and I just went off, and I swear, well, first of all, there's a lot of fertility issues these days. I feel like I'm 37, about to be 38. And for me, there's really just like, it's black or white. Either you have no problem getting pregnant and it happens right away, or you're on IVF for like 3-4 rounds and it's just like a nightmare. That's like a 50-50 split with my girlfriends these days, especially I think at my age, being a little bit older. It's either it's super easy or it's really hard, and it sucks because
you're so right, by the way.
It's so hard because no one wants to hear that you have a kid so easily. But then like, I don't know. I think a lot of it too is a lot of my friends who do IVF end up getting pregnant like right after they have IVF. There's like so much pressure that women put on themselves. And I'm not saying that's for everyone, because obviously girls, there's a lot of issues in why people have IVF. But I think a lot of times when women say they get pregnant right away, it's because we're just like, not caring or
we're not caring or trying or not thinking about it, and it's just
there's something magical about that, I have to
And you
say,
like
because
have
it took us longer with Charlie
because you were trying.
or we just weren't having sex as much because we had a kid.
Yeah.
Did you feel weird? By the way, I never asked this to anyone, but did you feel weird having sex like the first time after your delivery?
Oh, I had the worst delivery ever. So I was like avoiding
I
sex.
remember.
I was avoiding sex like the plague. I was like, don't touch me. Like and also you don't even feel good. Like I got cleared after 6 or 8 weeks because I had 3rd-degree tears with Jones. He was in the NICU for a week. I was in a wheelchair for a week. I could barely walk for like the first couple months. Like,
oh my
like 4 blocks was like my maximum for
my
walking.
God. Do you want to share that with us a little bit, or you don't want to share
No,
that?
that's fine.
It's so
That was
traumatic.
literally
I don't know.
no, it was fine. Like I had a really easy pregnancy. I loved being pregnant. I had no morning sickness. I felt great. I loved being pregnant. I loved having a bump. I loved dressing it. I had so much energy. I just loved it. I was the annoying girl who loved being pregnant. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Like,
Same, yeah.
I love it. It's okay. Yeah. Always like down to hang. Like I just loved it. But then they always say you can't have a perfect pregnancy. So like, although I loved being pregnant, I had a horrible delivery that like no one had expected. I went in, I got induced in New York, like a week before my actual due date.
Why did you decide to deliver in New York? Sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
because
so
you lived here, and I'm like, why did she go to New York? It's terrible there to have a kid. It's beautiful here.
I know. Well, so my husband's dad is a doctor. He went to Cornell.
Oh,
no way.
And he's a GI, gastroenterologist, but he has this group of 5 guys he went to college with, and they are all different specialties. One's a heart surgeon, one's like a GI, one's whatever, but one's an OB, Dr. Sassoon. So it was essentially my father-in-law's best friend, Dr. Sassoon. He was at our wedding. Matt grew up with him, and so he was our OB. It was like having like a family friend deliver the baby. So, and we were out there all the time for work. It was easy to do checkups. I just did some stuff with my OB here, but essentially it was just really nice to have that personal relationship with someone who was like really looking out for you and had your best interest in mind. Because I feel like a lot of times here it's just like a cattle call at OB offices. I feel like a lot of them just kind of don't have this personal relationship with you. They're just like, come in, do your thing. And it was just kind of something that was special for my husband too, to have his kids born in New York. He's very proud.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Were both of them born in New York?
Both of them were born in New York.
Same doctor?
Same doctor, same hospital, New York Press.
Okay, so you went in.
And so we went in, and I had an epidural. I got induced, which was like very common in New York. I feel like they don't really do it anymore, but like in New York, everyone gets induced. I think you just like schedule it. I think everyone needs to know what their plans are for the weekend. So they like induce everyone.
Seems that way, yeah.
Weird. They don't do it anymore, but they did at the time. And so I went in, everything was going fine until I started pushing, and Jones just wouldn't come out. And they were like, I pushed for 2.5 hours, and I was 1 push away from a C-section. I had 2 episiotomies. They cut me all over.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, ugh. And he finally came out, and we thought everything was fine. And then they were doing like what are they called? Like the
baby test.
The test at the end.
Yes, yeah.
And they were like, took him to the NICU, and he had a subglia hematoma on his head.
Because he was banging too much on your...
He had like a brain bleed.
Stop it.
During birth. And so he had to go to the NICU. My face was so puffy from pushing for 2.5 hours. I looked like a dead body. Like I have a photo, and my face is just, you don't even recognize me. Like my eyes are swollen and puffy. Like I was exhausted.
Do you know why it happened? Like, did they explain or not?
Essentially, my son has what they call a boat head.
A boat head?
A really big head.
Oh, okay.
They call it a boat head, where it's really wide on top.
Oh.
So
it was hard for him to...
He just had a massive head.
Yeah.
So like, for example, when he was 1.5 years, he was like trying on all my hats, and this company sent me this like cowboy hat, and it was a little big on him, and they were like, oh, it's so cute. We want to make a custom kid one for your baby Jones. They're just like, take a measurement of his head and send it to us. He's a year and a half. I go and measure his head. It's 55 centimeters.
What?
They're like, that's an adult small.
Oh my
He
God.
has a giant head.
But he doesn't look it.
Because he's really tall.
He looks like totally proportional.
I think the hair covers it.
Did you notice when he was born?
Yeah, he always had a big head.
Really?
Like none of the hats, no baby hats fit him, nothing. So he ended up just like ripping me to shreds. He was in the NICU. They were doing all these tests because they have to, but I like knew in my heart of hearts he was fine.
Yeah.
Just as like a mom, you're like,
You know,
he's fine, we're fine, just like whatever. And you feel so bad because he looks like this normal baby.
Yeah.
And he was 7 pounds, 11 ounces, pretty big compared to all these little babies in the NICU. And
Yeah.
I'm like, my son's fine. You just like, I knew. And so we spent a week in the NICU, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. My husband was wheeling me on a wheelchair because I was adamant about doing every feeding, breastfeeding him. For
You didn't do any
everything.
breastfeeding.
What?
Did you do breastfeeding
I-
after
yeah.
it? or
Yeah,
not? You did.
But
Okay.
I was adamant about breastfeeding, but in retrospect, I went every 3 hours. But in retrospect, I'm like, there's no way those NICU nurses waited for me to feed him. I'm like, they definitely, and they also just start them on formula when they're in the NICU. You like don't really have a say. I feel like they were giving him a bottle
Yeah.
when he started crying. So when I was there, I'd be like, he's not eating. And I'm like, they probably just gave him a bottle. And they were like just humoring me, letting me comment, and which is like kind of
Doctors,
messed up.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think because of that, my milk never really came in
Wow.
because I was pumping once a day in the middle of the night. So I wasn't coming in at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But then I would come in and like he either wouldn't feed or whatever because he'd probably already eaten. And so my milk never fully came in. And breastfeeding with Jones was a nightmare. I was like pumping and feeding like every 3 hours. And at the end, I was pumping and getting like 1 ounce. I was pumping for like 40 minutes.
That's not even worth it, to be
So
honest.
I only ended up breastfeeding for 3 months, but I like with Charlie, it was so easy. Everything was like easy breezy, which made me, I think in retrospect, realize that like they weren't maybe being fully honest with me about waiting for me to feed him. But my husband
That's fucked up, though.
I think
That's
it's
not
really- it's
nice.
messed up.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they don't want a crying baby in the NICU. You know
Because
what
the
I
other
mean?
babies are very distressed,
Yeah.
and little and
But Matt was
surviving.
wheeling me on my wheelchair every 3 hours. And, by the time you feed,
Yeah.
go home, rest for a second, you have to go right back and do it again. You know
How
what
was
I
your
mean?
healing process down there? Like I heard it.
I like didn't even look for like months. I was
Yeah.
just like, I don't want to see anything.
You can't go to the bathroom, right? It's
It's
nothing.
the worst. It was
Huh.
just, I think for me, I just had so many stitches that it was
Yeah.
just really sensitive and swollen for so long. Like
Oh.
I didn't get like the okay to do anything for like 8 weeks. And I think normally it's like 6.
You
which is
went
not
back to working out really quickly.
Yeah, but you know what? It was not fun. I was like,
It's
Yeah,
it's
you're
not
like-
fun.
no, I would like pee my pants going on a run because you just like
I
have
still
no
pee when I
control.
sneeze.
I know.
Every time I
You
have to
do?
sneeze, I have to hold it.
Sometimes
That's
too,
what
I'll like cross my legs and sneeze.
yeah, see? It's two.
Yeah.
It's two of them.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
that was kind of a trip. And I'd like be running, I'd go on like a light jog with Matt and I'd be like, oh my God, I just peed my pants. We gotta go
Oh my
home.
God.
I still, I might go to do that rejuvenation thing that they do when they tighten everything on your muscles because, like,
We have to
literally,
do all the
Kegels?
pelvic floor,
yeah.
Mhm.
which I feel like who has
Did you
time for
do
that? Who knows
all
if
that
you're doing it
exercise?
right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Am I
like,
squeezing the right
what-
muscle?
yeah, what
Like, I don't know.
It's like,
Squeezing something. God knows if that's my pelvic floor or
So
not.
I just went to Dr. Ko and they have this laser. It kind of looks like the ultrasound that you do at the doctors, and they put it that like inside.
Also,
and
it's like M-Sculpt for your
yeah,
vagina.
exactly. And it goes like everything just goes
It's
in.
M-Sculpt, essentially.
Well, I guess so. Yeah.
They're probably doing like have you done M-Sculpt on your stomach?
Not yet. No.
Okay, I did it after Charlie,
Yeah.
and I feel like it helped so much.
So much
Really?
to,
Yeah.
to bring your muscles back.
Bring my
Mhm.
muscles back. It helped because I was having lower back pain because
Yeah.
your abs are like so weak after.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
felt like it helped with skin tightening because if you do the M-Sculpt Neo with heat, that really helped. But I feel it kind of feels like you're getting tasered, like a
Yeah.
light taser.
Yeah.
I'm imagining it's like
Yeah, it's the same, but they say because it's inside, it's actually not as painful as if you do it like on a muscle.
probably because you don't have as many nerves
Yeah,
in there.
It's just
Maybe.
whatever.
Well, let me know how that
Just the
goes.
muscle.
So my friend just did it, and she's like, "Do you want me to send you a picture?" I'm like, "No."
Pictures.
Oh,
How the hell do they take photos of that?
They take picture before and after.
oh
And,
my
like,
God. I wouldn't
and
want to
How
see
the
that.
hell are you supposed to know the difference?
It is so much difference. You have no
What?
idea. Yes. I'm actually gonna, like, I don't know, tag it or whatever that called. But the difference is insane. Even your, like, I don't know, outer thing, it like goes back
No.
in. Yeah.
Okay, I need photos of
Yeah.
this.
I will
I need
send
Crazy.
photo proof. This is
I
the
will
first time I've ever heard of that.
So my nurse, I did a little Botox yesterday, but she
Yeah.
does it, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm like they call me like a pussy whisperer or something."
Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
She's like, "Can I do it? Can I do it?" And I'm
Should we
like,
plug the salon? Where is it?
"It's at Dr. Ko."
In Beverly Hills.
Yeah, he's in Santa Monica. He
Okay.
operates. It's the Ko.
That's
You know,
fine.
the
I'll
Ko
drive to the
eyes.
I'll drive to the west side for that.
Our connection was crazy, and she's like a doll, super beautiful. So I trust her with like my skin and stuff. But she does the pussy whisperer thing.
Oh my God. I feel like more people need to talk about this.
Mhm.
That's wild.
It's important. Like I
Yeah.
can't sneeze and pee myself all the time.
This is news to me. I guess after second baby, that's what happens.
Do you not sneeze and pee yourself?
No.
Oh, wait
That's
till the
crazy.
second.
That's why I'm like, okay,
My
the second one
husband's,
does
my
this.
husband's mantra for our second delivery was hot dog down a hallway, hot dog down a hallway. I was like, that is a horrible visual, but
Oh
like,
my
I
God.
get it. He was like, just let it be easy, like a hot dog down a hallway. And I'm
So,
like,
Yeah.
Was it though?
the second delivery with Charlie was a piece of cake. He
Were
had a
you
normal-sized
nervous?
head.
Yeah. Were you
I
nervous
pushed
though? Like-
twice and he was out.
Were you like
Yeah.
scared though, or you were like, it's not gonna be the same? Obviously.
I felt like I wasn't really, I'm just not like a worrier to begin with.
Okay.
And I felt like,
I wish I could marry you. Seriously.
oh, trust me, everyone's got their things,
For
but
sure.
I just don't worry about stuff
Mhm.
like that. My
Mhm.
husband was definitely worrying. That
Okay.
was where the mantra came from. He was very concerned, but I feel like I was just like, there's no way it could possibly be as bad as it was with Jones. Like his head
Yeah.
was just abnormally big. I feel like there's no way that that's gonna like.
He's gonna be super smart.
Like that's what they say. He had a little speech delay, so I don't know if that's true. But you know what's funny is I didn't know I was pregnant for the first like 10 weeks.
So you were drinking and stuff.
I was drinking, but I was in Brazil. I was in
Mm.
Mexico.
Oh no.
And so I had to get tested for Zika multiple times.
Mm.
And like
Wow.
the side effect of Zika is a small head. I'm like, I literally had the opposite of that.
So, at least you know you did not have Zika.
No, but that was
Right.
such like I feel like that was such a scare tactic for a while. Like
Yeah.
everyone I talked to in Brazil was like, it's the deep jungle. If you go into the deep jungles, it's not as like common
Mm.
as
Yeah.
everyone was making it out to be. But
It really is. Like
Yeah.
I know one person, like all my friends in the world, I know one person who got, bit by Zika, the mosquito with
yeah,
Zika.
yeah,
But he was in Mexico in a jungle.
deep
like
in the,
literally,
yeah.
yeah.
I think they were kind of making it sound more of a threat than it was. Like
Yeah.
I knew girls in New York who wouldn't even go to Miami during Zika. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Right before I found out I was pregnant, I was hiking Mount Toubkal in Morocco with Matt.
Oh wow.
It was like the highest point in the Atlas Mountains, and we were doing this marketing trip with Equinox. And I was like, we trained like months before, and we were on like the summit, and I was like handing off my oxygen to all these other girls. And one of the Equinox trainers was like 10 weeks pregnant, and I was like, what the hell is she doing here? Like, why you're pregnant? Go home. Like, why are you doing this? And then I come home and find out like the next week I was pregnant. I was like 8 weeks on the trip.
And you were not
my God.
tired. You were not
Well, I
nauseous.
was tired, but
like-
I had just gone from Morocco to London to.
so you were normal tired.
Well, I was
You
like,
just thought you were jet
I
lagged.
thought I'm like maybe
Yeah.
I'm just getting old and I'm jet lagged.
Yeah.
Literally, I was.
I
and
found
then-
out I'm pregnant after 2 months as well. I had no idea.
No
Like no
idea.
symptoms,
You guys
nothing.
crazy.
There's nothing off.
That's
Well, also
crazy.
I did not get my period with my birth control. It was like a side effect
No.
when I was on birth control, and so when I went off, I got pregnant right away, and so I never got my period. So I was
Oh.
in my mind, I was like,
You just
oh,
thought
I
'cause-
haven't even gotten my period. There's no way I'm pregnant. My body's still regulating.
Mhm, mhm.
So I was kind of like, oh, I have to get my period before I can even get pregnant. There's no way I'm pregnant right now.
You really like it after all these pills and
like right
hormones.
away, like
Yeah.
this.
Like in a
That's-
week before I even got my period after going off birth control. It was
So
like
you
a
have-
week after Coachella.
You were fertile. Fertile?
But my mom was too. I think you can tell a lot by the way your mom carries.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
How many siblings do you have?
I have one sibling. I have a
Who?
younger brother.
A younger brother?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Huntington Beach, right? Or
Manhattan Beach.
Manhattan Beach.
Close.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I grew up in Manhattan Beach.
Yeah.
Went to school in San Diego.
Amazing.
And
Beautiful.
then I think that's why and that's when Instagram started. I was living in San
Mhm.
Diego. So I think everyone thinks I'm actually from San Diego, but
Got it.
I'm from Manhattan Beach originally.
Okay.
So how did it all started for you? How did you get into like the influencer world? Was it first modeling or?
It was first modeling. And so like I was the opposite of you guys in my modeling career because I'm like 5'7". I was like more athletic, curvy. Like being Filipino, they would always be like, stay out of the sun, make sure you're not getting tan.
Yeah.
You
I
have to
remember those days.
Oh my God.
Mhm.
And my mother agent, Monica, who I love, you know, she's from Milan. So she was like used to doing like all the high fashion stuff.
Yeah.
She'd be like, stay out of the sun, don't work out, lose
Don't
weight.
eat.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Make sure you're too muscular,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So I was always I kind of fell into the realm of like all the fitness companies and swim. Like I was the Billabong Australia girl for 3 years. I did like all the yoga companies in LA.
That's a good money though.
It was
back in
actually
the
a
days.
great
Yeah, I know.
job because
Yeah.
I traveled the world to
Yeah.
all these like exotic locations. I went to Morocco, Tahiti, New Zealand, like Australia. I was like going to Bali. Like I got to travel and do like the best locations in the world because I was always on a beach somewhere. And the money was actually great. But I feel like for me, my agency was always choosing photos I didn't like. They were always like washing me out or making me trying to be more high fashion. And so when Instagram came, I was just like,
Did you want to be more high fashion or you like didn't
I
care?
think everyone did at the time.
Okay.
Like,
Mhm.
didn't everyone?
Because that's what they put you in your mind.
And that
It's like
was
that
like,
cool.
yeah, that was like the ultimate goal was to
Mhm.
always be high fashion. Like,
And you lived in LA
LA.
this whole time.
I was always
never
in
New
it.
York.
no, never
Okay.
New York.
So you had an LA agency.
My first LA agent was, I was with Ford.
Nice.
Yeah, but then
Commercial,
I
yeah.
was I was doing
Mhm.
I was killing it with the commercial jobs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, I know
Really.
so
That's
many
good.
girls.
That's where
who
money
did-
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commercials. They're like so rich. Like literally.
It was
made
kind of
so
a
much-
blessing in disguise,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Mhm.
But at the time, I was using Instagram as like my own outlet, where I was like, "Oh, I really
Expression.
like these photos from my test shoot," and my agents would like take one, and I'd be like, "Well, I love all of these," and so I'd like put those up on my Instagram, and be like, "This is the one I liked," and then I was always into fashion. Like originally, I'd wanted to go to fashion school and do that whole route, but then my dad convinced me to go to business school. So I always loved fashion, and whenever I was traveling to all these exotic locations, you know how it is in fashion, you're shooting stuff that doesn't come out for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, we're at this mountaintop at sunrise," and I'd be like, "Oh, I want to take a photo," and they'd be like, "That's fine, but just don't show your clothes." Right? Because they're like,
Yeah.
you can't show this big
Yeah.
secret.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I would like throw on my own clothes and take this like epic shot wherever we were and have these like amazing photos in
Wow.
my own clothes.
Mhm.
So it was kind of essentially that like the travel blog thing that everyone was doing. I was doing it for work.
So you were modeling and taking these shots while you were modeling
Yeah.
and putting on your
Own clothes.
Okay, got it. And you think you already had like a good style back
Like I
then,
got
kind of?
dressed in high school. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think I had good style. It's
Yeah.
definitely gotten better since
Yeah.
I think everyone's style evolves since they were like 20. But
Mhm.
I think at the time my clothes were cute and I was
Yeah.
working with all those brands. And so like people started sending. I remember when I first got my a DM from like a swim brand and they were like, "We'll send you a free bikini if you post it on your Instagram." And I was like,
You're like, wow.
"No way."
That's so cool.
So
Yeah.
cool. Like, yeah, duh. Like, of course. Like that. I just remember that so
Yeah.
specifically. And it's come a long way.
The beginning of it all, the
Yeah.
bikini.
Literally. And so it kind of started like that. Like I was always traveling and doing all these
Mhm.
cool things and wearing my clothes. And
But you had a blog as well where you
so
posted,
I
or
kind
it's
of
just
started the
Instagram?
blog. It started as Instagram and I kind of started the blog because literally for the past 12 years, people have telling me that Instagram's going to die.
Literally, it's still like the number one, right? Or it's TikTok now? Tell me.
I don't even know. I couldn't
You have
tell
both, though,
I have
right?
both. Yeah.
Do you just post the same thing on both?
No, I don't post the same thing. I make a huge effort to not post the same thing on both.
Do you have Do you have like a big following on TikTok?
So TikTok,
or?
I have like 180,000.
Okay.
But I just started like a year and a half or 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I just do get ready with me's pretty much. And I'll like throw in a couple other random things, but it's mostly just like get ready with me in my closet. And Instagram is more lifestyle for me.
I think TikTok is so hard, especially for our generation.
Oh my God,
like,
it took me forever to get into it.
How did you figure it all out?
Can
you tell us
the secret?
No, I was a holdout for so long. Like, remember during COVID, everyone was doing TikTok, and I was watching all these girls who like didn't have big followings on Instagram just like start killing it at TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, like I can't dance like that, and like I don't know,
but I can't do any of that.
Like I'm like I can't, I don't want to, and I just kind of held out until I finally found something I felt comfortable doing.
Just get ready with me.
And I did a get ready with me. And my old assistant at the time was like a really good video editor. And so I would just like get dressed and send her the video and she would edit it for me. And we still do that now.
Oh, that's perfect. Because then you don't have to deal with that. Yeah.
So I get ready and she like knows me and knows my voice and she's really great. So she just like edits everything for me. And that's the only.
So like for Instagram as well, she helps you with.
She helps me on Reels for Instagram, but like TikTok. She does everything on TikTok essentially.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be able to do it without her.
How many people you have working for you? Like, is it only you and Matt editing, shooting, doing everything?
We have one assistant.
That's crazy.
And then we have one, my old assistant is kind of like an independent contractor now. And we hire her on the side to edit. But like our official team is one person. We're very tight ship. Yeah.
So you're very busy.
I don't really know how girls have so many other people.
I mean, my friend Valeria, she was just posting about it. She has like 20 people or something on her team. That's a lot, you know?
Yeah. But she does a lot more video stuff. So maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm just also like, I'm kind of a control freak about my stuff too.
It seems like, what's your star sign?
Scorpio.
Oh, that's why. That's why I have crush on you. I'm really Virgo. So like Virgo and Scorpio is like all my best friends.
My brother's a Virgo.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you hate him?
No, I do. I did when we were younger, but now I love him. Yeah.
So Rocky, when I kind of find out about you through my friend who was trying to, who was trying to get you, but it didn't happen for him. But he showed me your Instagram, right? And you had 300,000 followers, like something like that, like maybe 5-6
time ago,
like 5-6 years ago. I wouldn't say it was so long time ago, but then like literally 2 years after that, you became like this, like the biggest like fashion like influencer. I know you don't like that, like
I don't think anyone likes that term, but
title, whatever, but like
it's the only option we have.
Yeah, it's like you are, But what do you think is your secret? Because it's like your success is like so like amazingly incredible. Like I don't get it. Like what is it?
You know what? It's so hard. I feel like a lot of it is that I've been doing it for so long. Like I feel like people always think that it kind of happens overnight, but like I've literally been doing Instagram for like 12 years.
But they jumped from like 5 years ago, six maybe.
Yeah, I feel like it's been like a steady growth, for a long time. But I feel like a lot of people stopped growing for a while, and I just like have been really lucky enough to like consistently grow. But I think a lot of it is I post every day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I post every day. I think a lot of it too, and a lot of the reason I blew up earlier is that because instead of just like posting photos that are just like easy like selfies or whatever, like I was always doing professional photos and stuff that brands wanted to repost and could use. And so I think because of that, my photos got circulated a lot more and shared a lot more. I think when you put effort and really work on your content and make it really beautiful, there's a lot of repercussions that come from that are amazing. Like we get paid, like we'll shoot a photo for a brand and they'll love it and want to use it, and then they'll like ask us to pay for usage to use it for like an ad or something like that. So like, there's a lot to be said about authenticity and keeping it real and having just like iPhone shots or whatever. But then there's a whole nother business side of being able to take really beautiful photos and clothes, and the brands see how well it works you wearing their clothes, and they'll book you for a campaign or book you for like a partnership on Instagram. So I think that is the route that I've always taken on Instagram. And I think that has also led to my success because all of my photos are like campaign worthy and brands are always reposting them or using them on their website. And So my face gets circulated so much more, I think, than a lot of people. And I have the modeling background.
Yeah.
So it's like
So you know what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing. I already have a look that they would have paid for. So I kind of have the best of both worlds.
Both, right. Well, I guess they see that you sell it as well, because if you wouldn't sell it, you wouldn't.
Well, I think coming from modeling too, I know how to wear clothes to sell them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? There's like a difference between girls styling something out and then they look good, but like I know how to style stuff out to make the clothes look good.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge differentiation.
For sure. A lot of girls, I feel like, focus on like themselves. And I feel like with you, it's like, I remember you were like posting this one top from Target or something. I'm like, fuck, I want this fucking top, you know? I'm like, I need to go and order it.
That's the beauty of coming from modeling. Like we have that ability to like wear clothes really well.
Yeah.
So I think that's really helped. I think I kind of have a little bit of both. Like I have the modeling side and then I have my own personal style. And I think that's like your girlfriend Valeria is very similar. Like she came from modeling. She wears clothes beautifully.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps. You know, you can kind of get both sides. You have like the relatable side, but then you also, or at least I do, because I wasn't like high fashion.
Yeah.
But I also have the like commercial side where I'm very marketable and people can use my image and stuff.
Where do you save all those photos? Do you store them?
I don't know. God, I just
or
like
do you delete them.
I keep getting new iPhones because I run out of storage. I just like.
How many shots you do for one post? Like how many shots Matt takes it? Like 1,000 or 100?
Oh my God, it used to be like 500.
And now it's like
now it's
20,
like
right?
Now it's like 50 to 100.
Yeah, 50 to 100. This is better because like
it's
I remember,
manageable. It's manageable.
Yeah.
And
especially if you post every day. Like
I post every day, and he knows what I want. I'm like, I need a full body, show the shoes. I want a detail, get my jewelry, like a 3/4. He like knows a full body 3/4 detail. Like he knows everything I want.
So you guys like this.
Yeah.
Do you take any jobs that you like hate? Just
I
because it's a job, you know?
So I wouldn't say I hate. I definitely work both sides of the room. Like I work with, like, for example, I currently am working with David Yurman, but I'm also working with Old Navy.
Is this David Yurman?
Yeah, that's
so beautiful. I was like looking at it the whole
stuff
time.
is so
it's
good.
Amazing. Wow.
But I like to think that I always say the most fun part of my job is being able to take a look from Old Navy, and like my girlfriends will be like, "You made that so cute!" Like I literally went to Old Navy to like buy that.
That's what I did. The one top it was from Old Navy. I was like,
that's the one. Oh my God!
I'm like, I need it. But you know what I mean?
That's how real women dress too. It's like I think it's so important to be able to show people that you can find amazing things on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And that's how women want to shop, especially moms. Like we can't afford to have all
money for all this designer stuff.
We're getting spilled on all the time. It's like, I'm not going to risk that. So I think being able to shop high and low and showing women out there that you can style it and still look chic and expensive. It doesn't have to be head to toe designer. Like certain like accessories help, and certain pieces in your wardrobe will elevate a full look, and showing people how to style it and really be able to work both sides of it, I think is so important. And I think that's the most fun part of my job is finding something at Old Navy and be like, I can make this really fucking cute.
Yeah.
Let me show you how.
Yeah.
Like that's the fun part for me.
I have to look up that top now.
Well, I've been working with
it's a white tank top.
Yeah.
And it's so good. It's like has like the perfect scoop, the perfect length.
Guess what? Okay, I have like 5.
It is Old Navy. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Yes, it's $12.
Yes, it is $12.
It's literally $12.
Did you get it?
It's actually amazing.
It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's like the most fun part for me. So I wouldn't say I have any clients that I hate. I think I'm lucky enough in this point in my life to be able to only pick and choose what I want to work with. I'd say in the past I might have had some jobs I wasn't like in love with.
Yeah.
But I think part of my ability as like a influencer stylist is like I love to be able to find a brand people wouldn't think to shop at and find something cute and make it my own.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
How many boxes a day you get?
Oh God, this is embarrassing.
Do they get shipped to your house or somewhere else?
We get it both. We have it depends. It depends if we're traveling or not.
Do you have like a warehouse? You put
where do you store?
Like I said, the first couple hours of my morning are spent like managing my closet, like trying stuff on, seeing what works. I at least get like 3 a day minimum on a normal day.
What's maximum you've got?
Like 15.
Oh gosh.
It just depends though. It just depends.
Yeah.
And it's all for work? Is it all like paid, or sometimes you just love the stuff and they gift you?
No, I work with so many brands on a
Yeah.
gifting basis. And I
Okay.
think, first of all, I think that like keeps my integrity as a fashion influencer. Like, I don't want to only be paid for everything I do. I think it's really important to find things that you actually really love and support small brands. Like, that's where people come and find all these cool new brands with me. Like, it's not fair to have to expect these brands to pay my rate to be able to be shown on my Instagram. But I would say a lot of times with working with different brands and smaller brands, that's where a lot of my jobs come from as well, is I'll cultivate these relationships with smaller brands, and then as they grow and get bigger, they'll bring me in for paid jobs, and it's like a really awesome way to kind of
So
Good
you build it
relationship.
out.
exactly. And I
Yeah.
think people underestimate that like a lot of the younger influencers will be like, "Oh, I'm not working with them unless they pay me." And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
not really the right mentality for this.
Well, here you are. Here's your success. You make an effort. You build relationships. You know.
So you're not just-
You have to hold your boundaries as well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I think it goes both ways. Like,
Yeah.
why would a brand pay you if they have no idea what you're going to do for them?
Yeah. Exactly.
Mhm.
And it's no skin off your back if you're going to do something. You're essentially going in for an interview, and that if you do a really good job, it'll come back.
So what I love about you is that you're not only social media queen, but you have your sassy business side too. I love it.
Definitely get that from my husband. He's very
Yeah.
smart about it. Yeah.
And is that your like main business right now? Do you have any other like ideas or plans for future?
Anything else you
kind of
work on?
just
We had a clothing brand for a while.
You did?
Yeah, Brightside. We
Mhm.
started at the worst time ever. It was like right during COVID.
Mhm.
And it kind of fizzled out. To be honest, it was just like I think having a clothing brand is a full-time job. I don't know how these girls do it. It's like so overwhelming and so all encompassing. You have to be so hands-on in order for it to feel like you. So it just didn't end up working out. Also, it was really hard for me to wear the same clothes over and over again. That was a little bit stressful for me,
Yeah.
but I'm not really sure. I kind of am open to doing something in the future, but right now I feel like
It's working. Yeah.
and I'm not sure having a brand is something I want to have something. I know I want to have something of my own that's not just me, like something that can live beyond me that I can create, but
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what that is.
I just
It'll
feel
come to
like,
me.
yeah, I just
Mhm.
feel like sometimes you have to just like keep going and then it will come, you know?
I feel like I know what I want from my future, but I don't know exactly how that's going to manifest itself. And I think
You
that's
want
the
some
most-
kind of business to
I want
to
something
own.
greater than me. I don't want to have the pressure every day to get up and take a
Yeah.
photo,
Mhm.
but I still want to be creative and be
Yeah.
involved
Mhm.
and have something that is a creative outlet and representative of me, but maybe not fully based on me. I don't know. I'm really big into manifestation and being able to like I focus on like the feeling I want out of life. Like that's really big for me. I don't know how that's going to come together, but I know I want something that's going to give me flexibility with my family and creative outlet and still provide for my family, but it's not going to be a brand or myself per se. I don't know. It'll happen. I have
Mhm.
faith in it. It'll come when it's meant to be.
For
but
sure,
I feel like
definitely.
the
Yeah.
influencer brands right now are just so oversaturated as well.
It is, yeah.
It's like everyone has one and you have to be really special to make it these days.
But I mean, you're top 10, so
But
it's
even me, like I had a brand and like I don't think I did it right with our
Mhm.
partners. I think we definitely like didn't structure our business the right way. But the girls that are making it are it's few and far between. It's really hard. Like once you are able to do it, I feel like you have to really find a white space in the industry
Yeah.
right now. So if, like look at like Bumpsuit is killing it. Like
they are.
She
I don't
found
know
her
their
niche,
numbers.
you know?
yeah, I remember before she started it, she was wearing all of these like onesies, and I DM'd her so many times, like, where's that from? She's like, oh, this is from like, it was from like, what is it,
Old
Boohoo
Navy?
or something. It was from like
Oh, yeah.
Boohoo
Oh
or
my God.
something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And I was like, really? And
Yeah.
then she like went on to do Bumpsuit, and I was like, you literally killed the onesie situation.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And like she's killing it with Same. Like there's some
Mhm.
But
girls
she's
who
been
have,
doing it for 10 years,
I know, but it takes a long
Yeah,
time.
it
It's
takes a
hard,
really
and
long
she's
time.
like fully
Journey.
invested in that.
She does it. She wakes up. She's one of my best
Yeah.
friends. She wakes up and she goes to sleep with it. Like it's really hard.
But it's
you know?
hard. It's
Mhm.
hard for me to step away from my bread and butter to
Yeah.
like build that
Yeah.
brand, especially now that I have a family.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
Mhm.
It'll be something, but I'm not in like a rush to do it right
I'm
now.
sure anything you'll put your, head into will work out.
Yeah.
Well, that's the key. You really have to
yeah.
be like fully
Mhm.
invested.
Fully invested. That's what me and Ginta were talking about. That
Yeah.
you just have to keep on going, believe in yourself, manifest, of
Yeah.
course. And
You have to be fully invested though, because
Yeah.
especially if you want to like have it be your baby, it's so easy for things to kind of the quality to fall to the wayside and it become more like business driven. But if you like really have to be so passionate about everything you do
you have to,
for it
right?
to be
As
successful.
well, such a
Mhm.
cliche to say it, but you do, right?
You
You have to love it.
You have to love it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I genuinely think so. And I think that's part of the influencer thing too. People want to do the influencer job because they're like, oh, I can make so much money doing this or I can get free stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's really not the mentality you should have going into this. You have to really be passionate about whatever you're doing.
Mhm.
And you're influencing on like I love fashion. I like love sitting in my closet and
You
getting
can
dressed.
really tell that. Like, I swear to
Mhm.
God, every time I look at you, I'm like, you like breathe and live,
I love
like,
it.
yeah,
It's
you
like
do.
I still get excited when I
Yeah.
put a cute outfit together. I'm still like, oh, this is cute. I'm really excited to like shoot this.
Well, listen, your body looks amazing. Like, just tell us all, what do you do?
I don't know. What are you doing? I want to know what you.
I do nothing.
I
I just have good genes, honestly.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say I have good genes too. I feel like I'm just an active person in general.
Active, okay.
Like I have 2 little boys I'm constantly running after, and
But your neck,
but
like,
I grew up doing martial arts.
Well, you like this, like,
But
it's
I grew up
crazy.
doing. I think I have so much. Like my mom was a gymnast.
Okay.
So I feel like I spent my whole childhood doing like yoga, cheer, and martial arts. And that's like, I feel like I have really good
build your
muscle
muscle.
memory from that.
Mhm.
But I also feel like from modeling, I had a bad, I feel like everyone goes through a phase where they have like a really bad relationship with food. And I feel like it's
Yeah, for
taken me
sure.
a long time,
Mhm.
but I actually am very good and in tune with my body now. I think what comes out of the like unhealthy habits of modeling is that you actually are in tune with yourself and what makes you feel good and like what you need to feel your best versus like because originally we were doing it for looks, but like I think as we get older, we realize what we need to do for our health and for us to
Yeah.
be like
Mhm.
efficient moms and partners and business women. So I feel like I'm not a big sugar person. I like to eat 3 full meals. I don't snack. I like eggs and like a big breakfast. I'm not like eating cake and ice cream for dessert. Like I eat what I want, but I do it in moderation and I do it till I'm full. I'm not like binge eating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the most important was also for me, like when you're modeling, you like starving yourself
Yeah.
and then you like binge eating, right?
yeah, it's
And now
such a
it's just-
horrible like cycle that I think
You'll- yeah.
every girl goes through
Yeah.
at some point in their
Mhm.
life.
Sure.
Even girls who aren't modeling, it's like deal with it.
You think?
It's horrible, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially now with Instagram and
Mhm.
everything, like
Mhm.
constantly being bombarded by all of these body images. I feel like we had to deal with it because we were going to castings and
Yeah.
shoots and had people staring at us. But I think girls these days, and you're gonna have to deal with this with your daughters, like
Mhm.
seeing all these images and and comparing themselves. Like we didn't have that when we were
Mhm.
younger.
What do you think about all this plastic surgery and like 16-year-olds? It's crazy. Like, I have girls. You guys have boys, but like I'm scared for them.
No, and I think the 18-year-old rule should apply. Like,
apply to plastic surgery,
yeah, you
right?
should be an
For
adult
sure.
before you're able to do
Yeah,
that.
100%.
Like my daughters have one of them has big lips and one of them has little lips, and I'm already worried. I'm like, what if she wants bigger lips?
Well, I don't know.
Like,
Maybe it'll be like eyebrows and skinny will be in.
Time's gonna change. So
maybe
there's
Kate
yeah.
Moss look will come back,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, seriously. So you never know, but I know it's kind of a crapshoot. I don't think anyone should knows themselves enough to make a decision like that until they're at least
Yeah.
18. So
yeah, your body's still developing.
Changing.
Even at 18,
You're
I
still
feel
going
like
through puberty.
yeah.
I feel like
I mean,
after
my boobs
college-
only grew at 25, and everyone thought I got like a boob job, and I was like so flat.
You were just a unicorn.
Yeah, right. Just suddenly
Yeah,
like
they-
My boobs grew at 25. I don't know what's going on.
that's
Maybe
great.
because I started modeling so early, so I was always so skinny, and then at 25, I kind of like relaxed a
Yeah.
little bit. I was like, okay, I made it, like whatever. I get
And all your
jobs
fat
and-
went to your boobs. Poor
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Poor
now,
Marina.
after pregnancies, like I don't know, just
Yeah.
all my fat just went away.
Yeah.
Like it really ruined a little
Yeah.
bit
It
of
kind
my
of sucks
curves.
everything out
Mhm,
of you.
It did.
Yeah. Well, you still look amazing. Don't
Okay.
worry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so do you. If you ever, want to marry someone else, I will be next in line.
Listen, my facialist just literally like got a house with her other single mom friends. And I'm like, you have like a mom commune.
No, it's a
I'm
trend.
like, I kind of get that.
It's a trend. Like, you're sick of guys. You already have your kids. What are you gonna do?
Right?
Marry again?
I feel like
come
it's
on.
happening. It's happening. We're
Yeah.
all gonna move in together with our kids and have like a beautiful commune.
Yeah,
Costa
guys can do
Rica.
their own thing. Girls
Yeah.
can,
Yeah, it's like the
be with
man's
kids
house and the
and-
women's
yeah.
house. Yeah.
Well,
I see that
Rocky-
for everyone's future.
Yeah.
It's totally
The future is bright.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it, to be honest.
Oh, my husband would
But-
be pissed, but I'm like, I would sleep better at night probably.
Do you
Right?
guys have time for yourself? I forgot to ask this question.
We actually take date nights.
You
Like
do?
we have one tonight.
How many times?
We try and do it once a week.
So today what? Thursday?
Thursday.
Is it Thursdays?
Yeah, our assistant is really good about that. She like looks at our calendar and like books us a date night every week.
So nice.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And like we're going to Queen Street, which is like this really cool new
it's
restaurant.
the new thing,
Yeah.
right? I've heard. Yeah.
So it's like the what's it called? Found Oysters, like sister restaurant.
Nice.
So we're going there tonight. I'm really excited.
Well, have
So,
fun.
yeah.
as we're
Well,
running
enjoy,
over
guys.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll let you go because it's been.
Just talking your ear off for like
No, it's just
No,
like I
it's-
know
there's always so much. There's
It's
never enough
it's
time for
always
these
so
things.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we did an hour, so we'll
No,
let
this
you
was
go.
great.
We didn't even use the cards. We kind of like
We didn't even use the
freestyled.
cards.
We just went from
It's always better when you just like free
Exactly.
flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you so
I
much
got to ask
for
you guys more questions. I feel like that's would have been next time.
No, this was
interactive.
great.
When you have your third baby, you can come back.
Oh no, I'm done. I'm done. Are you gonna have a third?
I really want it.
A boy.
But I really would like a boy, but I just want a healthy baby. But
Yeah.
I'm like really the horror stories with my friends not getting pregnant and this
It's
and
hard,
that.
yeah.
But my husband doesn't want it yet. He said if he makes a certain amount of money a
Listen,
year,
I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. That makes sense to me. That was the
Yeah.
one thing I didn't want to do ever was like compromise my lifestyle.
Mhm.
yeah,
Like I grew up with no money, so
yeah,
like I never want my kids to have to like worry, oh, can we afford to go to this college or do this?
Yeah.
Like I want to be
Yeah.
able to afford to
Yeah.
give my kids whatever.
the best life you
Yeah.
can give them.
So I get it. 2 kids is
Yeah.
expensive.
It's expensive. Like
3
the
is even more.
schools, Like 3 is.
Well, then you need
It
another
adds up.
car.
then you need
a bigger
another car. It's like no, it's the whole.
you need
it's
another
a lot.
hotel room. You need
You
like
need, yeah.
you just
Unless
need more.
the
Mhm.
third kid is like way later in life. But even then, like older kids start going to college and stuff.
Well, then
and
you have to
still-
go through the baby phase again.
Yeah, that's true.
Not sleep again. And I'm like, I don't know if I
I
can. do
can't
that
afford
again.
not sleeping.
I
told
later.
Marina,
I'm
like,
already-
My hardest time was when Axel was a newborn. Like first 3 months was the hardest.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to say it gets easier, but it's like more fun in a sense. Like he communicates.
Yeah.
He's like 2 years old now, so it becomes more interesting.
Yeah. Is
First
he
3
going to
months.
school?
No,
No.
no, not yet.
Next year.
Next year, yeah.
Yeah.
But first 3 months was crazy because he was super colicky, crying nonstop, when not
yeah.
sleeping, and I was just like, "This is my life now. What am I gonna do?" You know.
He was really
it's horrible.
depressed,
It's
yeah.
horrible.
I
Yeah.
kept on bombarding Maureen. I'm like, "My life's over. Like, what do I do? What's happening?" You know.
I think we all feel like that.
I'm like, you
Yeah.
get a night nurse and you go to
I didn't have a
sleep.
night nurse with
Mhm.
either of my
You
kids.
didn't.
What? You're a superhero.
No, but
that's-
I lived with my mother-in-law.
So
And
she helped a lot.
She helped. She took care of all like the food and the laundry.
Oh,
and then
that's
when
important.
we had Charlie, she was like watching Jones all day. So
Wow.
that was like the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was breastfeeding anyway. So I was like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
with-
be up.
Yeah.
And I just kept Charlie in our room and fed him and put him back down and I went to sleep and
Well,
I wasn't pumping.
It's
so
good
it was
to know
easy.
someone is like that. My mom still is with me.
I know. But I feel like if you as long as you have someone helping you,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like whether it's a night
Yeah.
nurse or something, you need some
Yeah.
help.
Mm-hmm. You do.
You need
You
It's
really
not like
do.
I didn't have a night nurse. I
Yeah.
just had
Yeah. Help the
essentially,
daytime.
like,
Well,
yeah.
daytime is important too, because if your kid sleeps
Mhm.
okay and you still have to breastfeed, then you're fine without a night nurse.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Mine were fine. It was more so with the second kid watching the toddler,
Yeah.
making sure they have enough attention or
Yeah, they
getting
get
enough.
jealous.
They get jealous.
Mhm.
They get like destructive.
Yeah. My daughter was like scratching my little one's face
Yeah.
and stuff for a while. Mhm.
And they don't realize how like small they are. They like
yeah.
squeeze them.
Yeah.
They're gonna
Squeeze
play,
it.
and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
like
Jones
that.
still
Yeah.
picks up Charlie by his neck.
By his
and I'm
neck.
like,
Yeah.
no.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
You're like,
Okay, babe.
Imagine.
Well,
well, thank you so much.